I've always liked to prove people wrong.
He's about as tough a competitor as they get.
He's had to work so hard.
He's done it! All of the hard work, the hours on the practice court, the time spent in the gym.
Andy Murray is the champion.
The biggest lesson that I've learned, I think that I've showed a lot of perseverance.
He's done it, and he can't quite believe it.
Once again, he has defied the odds.
During my career, obviously, when I've lost like big matches and stuff, like I have kept coming back. This was more challenging than a lot of like those losses and stuff. Playing at the highest level with a metal hip has not been done before in the sport. So it's obviously a very difficult thing to do.
9 months after surgery that could well have ended his professional career. Andy Murray is a winner once again on the ATP Tour.
It's pretty basic, and a lot of people say it, but it's just to never give up. In some ways I've surprised myself, I've surprised a lot of the guys that I work with, a lot of the doctors and stuff that I spoke to, so yeah, I'm very proud of what I've achieved since I've come back to play, because it's not easy, and there's certainly lessons that I've learned kind of along the way in my tennis career that's helped me deal with the last few years probably a little bit. You know, in 2016 I had won Wimbledon, I'd reached the final of the French Open and the Australian Open, I was ranked #1 in the world, and then I had almost a career-ending injury. You know, I potentially could have won more events and more slams, and I was certainly in the mix for all of them at that time, so it was difficult, and it's easy to get down on yourself and ask, oh, why is this happening to me? This is terrible luck or whatever. It's pretty basic, and a lot of people say it, but it's just to never give up. You know, it started to get more and more difficult. It wasn't my dream when I came on the tour to win a Grand Slam, but as I started to improve and get better, it was like a huge goal of mine, and it was something that I was getting reminded of regularly, you know, even when you have the tough losses, just to try and bounce back and not give up on yourself. And I've never done that, even in the situations that I've been in the last few years. I've kept going, kept trying to achieve my dreams, and I've managed to fulfill a few of them. It changed, really. I mean, after the first one, you know, was great that I'd managed to get there. I was very, very young. I'd beaten Nadal in the semi-finals. I lost to Federer in the final, who was, you know, the best player in the world at the time and had won many slams already, and for me it was a brand new experience and slightly unexpected to be there. But obviously with each one that I'd lost, you know, it started to get more and more difficult, more and more pressure sort of, I guess, was building each time, but I never stopped working, I never stopped trying. I've always liked to prove people wrong, and hopefully I can continue to do that for the next few years.
Murray wins! Murray wins it all! He's champion, and he's created history. A legacy-enhancing moment.
He's played some great balls.
Some of the best ball striking I've ever seen in my life.
Andy Murray is the champion.
He's done it! A career-defining moment.
Another Master Series under his belt. He's been outstanding. He's got this phenomenal fight in him.
It's all smiles in the Murray camp.
Very proud moment for Murray.
Once again, he has defied the odds.
Sometimes getting good results or doing well, that doesn't mean that you know everything.
So many years of hard work and fine-tuning and getting better, understanding what your shortcomings are and improving them each and every year. He's added a little bit more to his game.
It takes a very special person, doesn't it, to want to continually put that hard work in, to try and improve in every single aspect of your game, to become the very best player on the planet.
The biggest lesson that I've learned, it's important to obviously enjoy the highs, but you know, you're often competing at a tournament a few days later, and you know, getting overconfident and things like that, you can easily lose in a couple of days. So you need to just try as much as possible to stay sort of level-headed. So you obviously have to learn how to deal with those losses in a positive and constructive way. There's many decisions and many things I would have done differently. And that's one of the reasons maybe why, like, when I finished playing, that I quite like the idea of being involved in coaching and that sort of stuff, because yeah, I feel like I've experienced a lot in my career and I achieved a lot of the targets that I would have liked to. There's still many things I could have done differently and probably did wrong in my career, and I think that's a good lesson for athletes to know that it's just because you're sometimes getting good results or doing well, that doesn't mean that you know everything, that you're always doing the right thing. Kind of like to pass that message on to some others. At the end of the day, like, yes, like winning tournaments and rankings and stuff, it's all nice and it's great, but they weren't the main reason why I started playing tennis when I was a child, and why I continued it my whole life is because I love the sport. I love what it's given me, the challenges that it possesses, and that's why I've worked hard to try and get back to competing, even though it's not been at the level that I want or expect from myself. I've still been trying my best.
And that's always what defines champions, when you handle adversity.
He's had to work so hard.
A deserving champion.